And a good, wonderful morning to all of you. Welcome to the official Trade Talk channel, where I show you how I analyze price for the most consistent and higher probable entries to help you all become better traders. A couple things on the agenda for this morning. DXY just made a fresh August high, so that thing has been absolutely cruising to the upside. Did a massive reversal, and now we're printing a new high for the month of August. Will this act as resistance or will it roll over here? It's probably unlikely. Bitcoin has been extremely weak this morning. You can see that it hasn't went anywhere there on the hourly time frame. We have two pairs that we're potentially watching for trades. That is pound Aussie and euro pound. There wasn't much in the way of FX this morning for any entries. If Bitcoin does find resistance here and roll over, then Bitcoin may find support. You can see that I currently have hourly support at $24,011, but also resistance is right at $24,088. So very tight intraday range we got going on here. The daily range is very small. So let's get into it. All right, let's bring Bitcoin over here on the big screen. So this is basically, let me see if I can even get the internet to pop that up. It did. All right, so beautiful. There's our daily ranges. Yesterday or the night before last, we thought Bitcoin was going to break out up here, and then we got a big massive move back to the downside, doing the same thing that it's been doing for the last couple weeks, and that is just liquidating an old swing high and then instantly pulling back. You can see that this day right here, this daily range, was an outside day in comparison to the previous day. And then this day was an outside day compared to the previous day. So that just basically means it can't get anything going, not to the upside. Yesterday, volume point of control was setting at the bottom of the daily range. And the day before that, it was in the middle of the daily range. So volume profile has not been very helpful. Currently, we have volume profile setting at the middle of the daily range once again. But in this scenario, it's pretty much the bottom of the daily range. So whether or not we go up from here is probably not good. The chances of it going up are probably not good. In fact, what I would probably be doing is I'd be watching resistance to sell into it. If we go look at the dollar real quick, you can see just how strong this thing has been for the last few days. If we pull it up over here, you're going to see that big fake out move to the downside. We broke down below a decent or ascending trend line. Let me see if I can get it up here real quick. No, that wasn't it. I think it was there and there. Well, anyways, you get the point, right? It broke down and then we're right back above it there. This trend line as well, we were kind of keeping an eye on to see what would happen when we got back up to it. And you can see that yesterday it broke completely out of it. Today you're getting that continuation, and there is your last, or this day was on the 5th of August. That was the monthly high. We just broke that today. So, it looks bullish. It looks like it wants to have bullish continuation. You are now well above the 50 on the RSI. Stokes are pointed up very, very strongly, in fact. So, maybe you pull back from here today, but I would expect it to just keep going. This is a legit breakout on the dollar. We've had several legit breakouts on Bitcoin, and then as soon as it breaks out, it just rolls right back over. So essentially, this trend line right here is what's keeping price in check or not allowing it to break out, which tells me that there is no demand at all at $25,000. Hang on a second, let me get this off the screen. So we don't have much demand. Jesus, there you go. We don't have much demand above $25,000. So it looks to me like a short would be in order. So what we discussed Sunday in the members only live stream was we know that traps exist. Let me go back over here to the SPX real quick. We know that traps exist. Hang on, just bear with me. I've already done this 1,000 times on this thing. All right. So we know traps exist, and what we're looking for here is this to potentially be a trap. Now, today is Tuesday, and you can see that your weekly range has made a fresh high, right? So you are getting bullish continuation. although that bullish continuation isn't, it isn't brutal. It's not extremely volatile. It's just a very small range for the last 2 days. We don't have any news today. And what's going on here is there was an article stating that, the S&P 500 has never broke above the 50. Let me get this over here. The 50% retracement and then made new all-time lows. So basically, since 1950s. Now, I look back on this thing, or, the actual SPX, not this, but the actual contract. And there is one time in '08 where it did break above the 50 and roll over. And I was using 20%. So this low wouldn't be good enough because this low wasn't 20% off. So basically anything lower than or at 20% to the downside is where I drew those lines. So it is possible, it has happened before, that you have broken above 50% retracement of a bear move and then made fresh new lows after. It doesn't look like you're going to do it this time. So since we know that traps exist, this would be the trap. This candle right there, that would be your trap candle. So you really can't say that it's going back to make new lows while this candle's low is intact, and that is $4,111. So you need to take that out. If you take that out, then what I would do is I would wait for a pullback roughly into about 50% retrace of last week's range and then look to sell it there. So, there's really nothing we can do as far as taking new buys up here, or, do we look for shorts? It's obviously bullish. The momentum is bullish. Everything is bullish. Today's the first day that, yesterday we didn't do a whole lot either. We pulled back a little bit, but we ended up closing bullish. So it doesn't look like this move is going to be a trap. And if that's the case, then typically we want to look for bullish positions, but we need to pull back into support. So there's really nothing you can do on the SPX. Look to try to short it if you want. Just understand that you're likely to get ran over in that position. It doesn't look like it's losing any steam at all. It doesn't even look close to the way Bitcoin looks. So going back over here to Bitcoin, you can see that it just every single time it liquidates a high, it pulls back, and this time is no different. We were watching for last Thursday's high to be liquidated on Sunday. It did, and then we instantly got a pullback, and then the very next day, or Sunday night, and that's actually the beginning, or that would be Monday's Asian session, pushed all the way up, liquidated Saturday's high, and then instantly rolled over. And now that's where we currently are sitting. So, what do you do from here? Do you short it? Do you sell it? Do you buy it? Guess as good as mine, right? Your guess as good as mine. Here's daily resistance for now, $24,456. If you go intraday, you're going to see that you're not that far away from it. And yesterday we were discussing taking a trade on this, looking for bullish entries and taking profits roughly about there, right? So we were just looking for a move last night to get above these swing highs here, tag that, and then potentially roll over. So that was going to be our take profit spot. As you can see, that trade more than likely was stopped out. So what we were watching yesterday when I posted it on Twitter was watching this support right there. So on this hourly candle, you had a beautiful push down into that. That is where I executed a long position. Right as there is where I have my take profit. But this morning it's not been stopped out. It has been stopped out. Sorry. I just entered a new bullish position on it, but that position was stopped out last night with this candle here. So it looked like it was going to try to go up there and then rolled over. It's weak. It's just showing weakness, no ability at all to get up. The ranges are very small, tight. There's not much opportunity in something like that, especially when you're chopping around. So right now there is currently support in here, and as long as that's holding on a hourly closing basis, maybe look for it to go up. If you think it's going to roll over, look to short resistance levels, right? You've already been above here briefly, and you rejected there. So if it is going to roll over, maybe it rolls over here. We're a little bit early. You got hour and 15 minutes until the New York session gets started, or gets a full on roll. So we'll just kind of keep our eyes on this, and then Euro, Pound, and Pound Aussie. So we were looking to short Pound Aussie. This is the trade we're currently looking at. So you can clearly see that this thing has broken down. It's underneath all of major support levels. where you're currently trading, you're not into any support at all. So we're looking for bearish continuation. If you look at the week, you can see that what you appear to be doing is last week you broke down. This week you're having a pullback, right? You're pulling back. So if we fib that, you're going to see that this wick has traded up almost to the 50% retracement of last week's breakdown candle. So you're currently bullish on the day and you're currently bullish on the week. But like I said, it is Tuesday. Is this going to be the high of this week? Yeah, it's possible. But right now you are trading above today's open. This may be different on Oanda. So I don't know what brokerage or exchange you are using. So most of the time when I'm doing the analysis, it's either going to be on Oanda or FX.com because those are the two places that I have funds at. So right now we're just kind of watching the open on this. If it struggles, which it has been for most of the morning, we were going to look for this to pull up into resistance here and take a short, but it hasn't gotten up there since I came to the office. I woke up a little bit late this morning and I had to go to the store because I didn't have any more Red Bulls. So I was getting out, and this is what we have in front of us. So current resistance is 1.71877 on forex.com. Looking for that to hold as resistance. If it does, we can take a short position and we'll be aiming at or roughly around this demand zone here. So this is your daily open right there, or roughly about that. That's yesterday's open. No, that's our open. All right, perfect. So there's your open on the day. So you can see how you're trading above it. Forex.com does not provide volume to anybody, so just kind of keeping an eye on it. If it gets up there and fails, then we could potentially take a short and we can target down here. So profit target would be right before this. So you're just looking for that. And that would be a nice 3-to-1, almost 4-to-1 risk to reward if it does indeed hold as resistance. We broke down last week. Like, this is your breakdown. So we're looking at this as just a correction. And you can see that since it did put in that high, you've just been trading sideways. So we'll keep our eyes on it. That's the level where I need entry or as close to that as possible. So we have to wait on that. And then finally, Euro Pound, which, you know, we've probably already missed it. So here we are. Let's go out to the weekly on this. Show you what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking about. You're into support currently, but there's your weekly range, and it does look like it's trying to break down. On the daily time frame, you are below the 50. Nicely below it. You traded up into it. Boom, boom. Now you're rolling over. So technically, you're into support. So it's not the best short in the world, right? I don't like shorting into support, but we were looking for our entry up here. And you can see that it is running away right now. So any entry underneath that supply zone would have been fantastic, or right around it. And like I said, I had missed this wick right there, and that's the wick of which I wanted to get in. Now, I did have an opportunity to get short right here, but by the time I got my freaking brokerage pulled up, for some reason I couldn't get it to work on TradingView. It just wouldn't allow me to take the position. So I had to log into the actual exchange itself. I had already missed it. So I could have potentially taken an order or a sell there at 0.84296, which is this white line. But that trade is more than likely already moved on. This would be the target as it is the low of day. All right, so that would be the target. I would probably be taking profits roughly where it is currently if I was into that trade. Simply because you're in a daily support or weekly support. Daily or weekly, I can't remember. I got Bitcoin pulled up on the other screen over there. It's not looking like it's going to be able to get anything going. Big mover this morning is Doge. Let's go take a look at Doge. You can see here, big move today. And if we stretch it out here to the daily time frame, you can see that this thing is broken out. The day before yesterday, it got a nice breakout above resistance. This was the resistance that we were looking at right there. You can see how there wasn't no daily closes happening above that until this, boom. And then yesterday you had a pullback day, and today you're getting that bullish expansion. So a lot of cryptos are doing that. except for Bitcoin. I mean, Ethereum, if you look at Ethereum is bullish on the day, barely, but it is up on the day, 0.67%. So it's like Bitcoin is lagging everything. A lot of these things are up some of these things are up almost 200%. Ethereum itself is up 120% from the lows. Bitcoin is up 40% from the lows. 40% is nice, but it's Ethereum has already tested this candle's resistance. So this candle isn't resistance on Bitcoin, the May 30th candle, but it is resistance on Ethereum, and it's already been tested. Ethereum has already tested that. In fact, that's where Ethereum rolled over. Going back over here, there's your May 30th candle right there. And that's where basically Ethereum stalled out at resistance. All right, so pound Aussie is moving into an area of resistance. This is what we wanted to watch right here. So we'll keep this one on the screen. The trade would look something like this. We'll go ahead and set it up. If you were to take it, boom. Obviously, stop loss would be over the wick, but we're going to wait. We're going to let it push first. See if it wants to push up above that wicks, liquidation, and then fall back under, and we'll catch it then. And you can see that, well, it'd be roughly about a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Almost a 3-to-1 risk to reward. If it holds. This is, let me see. No, this is your low of day down here. So we'll watch resistance. You don't want to take it on the first test. Obviously, you got 39 minutes left on this hour. There's plenty enough time still inside of this hourly candle to get up there and squeeze out these already early positions. Because you can see that people are trying to short this. Let's go over here real quick just to Oanda. You're already trading above it there on Oanda. But Oanda has volume. All right, so the volume point of control is setting under price, right at the hourly support. So this might not be a short, right? But we have a line in the sand. We know what to watch. And you get an hourly close above that, then you're wrong if you're looking to short it. More than likely, not always, because sometimes we do get the 8 o'clock candle to close above, and then the 9 o'clock candle ends up being an engulfing. So we can watch for something like that. So good morning to everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your time. I understand that not everybody has a lot of time. So thank you for being here. Let me just go over here and make sure nobody's asking any important questions real quick. Master of the Human Race, Harrington. Fed minutes tomorrow, I believe. Well, let me look at it because I do have the economic calendar pulled up. Yep. Canada core inflation tomorrow. The minutes come out when at 10. No, I don't see it. If the minutes are coming out tomorrow, I don't see it, right? I don't have it. I see building permits, housing starts, industrial production, and more industrial production. The highest, or like a lot of that, you got ZEW economic sentiment for the Eurozone, and then you got core inflation for Canada tomorrow. So big news for Canada. Also have employment change and unemployment rate for the UK. That'll be at 2 a.m. in the morning. So I will not be trading that. But I don't see anything. There's nothing for today on the economic calendar. Nothing at all that would make price do anything, really. Good morning. Volume dropping with price, which is good. Yeah, it usually is. Why do you think Bitcoin hasn't got going like SPX? I don't know. The only thing that I can suggest is it's sellers. I mean, there's sellers, right? It can't get above $25,000. It can't stay above $25,000. You're currently at $24,000 right now, which is a big figure, right? Like, the way this looks to me is it looks like it wants to roll over. It doesn't look like it wants to get going. This was the last push, nice big solid push up into there. When you were above this liquidation, when you were above this swing high right there, you had everything you needed to propel you higher, right? You're stopping out shorts. That's an influx of new buy orders, right? Whenever you liquidate shorts, it's an automatic influx of new buy orders. So when you get a reaction like this, What it says is somebody's setting up here with a very, very big position and they're selling. They're not buying, they're selling. In order to push price higher, you need demand to keep coming. Last time we did that, this was a big move down. Big move down. So it looks to me like it's a sell. It looks to me like they're selling it. Each time you get a push up into a liquidation, boom. Push up, liquidation, boom. Push up, liquidation. Well, we haven't boomed yet, but it looks like it's going to. Right? So one could watch for resistance. A daily close above 24, 4, 5, 6. At this point, I'm just looking for it to roll over. I'm so sick of it not being able to break out. This should have been the breakout. And then you pulled back for 2 weeks. Then you got above it here again. Once again, bearish reaction. And then you triggered that high, bearish reaction. Made a new high, bearish reaction. There's obviously some big position or there's somebody selling Bitcoin at $25,000 or roughly around that. Anything above 24.8, you could say there's a lot of selling going on up there. Volume was increasing last time. Increasing volume is typically not good if we're looking for bullish breakouts. Excuse me. The reason for that is typically, you're seeing a lot of selling come in. What you typically want to see is you want to see declining volume as price is moving higher. When you start to see an incline of volume, like, this was declining as price was moving up, and then we liquidated that swing high, and then the volume, there was a lot of volume up there. It did the same thing again. Lots of volume. Today you hardly have zero volume, but you still got 930 to go to, right? 24,097, that is the daily open for today. And you're currently trading under yesterday's close. Yesterday's close was a bearish candle, so that suggests support. And you're under it. There's the next support right there, 23,944. If we lose that, you're coming all the way back down to there, 23,158. So, there is plenty of room to get down there. It's very, very difficult trading this because you've got massive wicks and price is not getting any follow through or any continuation, even to the downside, right? Anybody that's sold up in here based on that swing or based on that trend line, they're not getting any continuation either, right? Anybody that's sold up there. Jimenez, which is a member inside of my community, took a sell at the previous week's high. So let's get rid of everything. Let's go to the weekly and I'll show you where he got sold or where he sold it. Now, I don't know if he's still setting in that or not, but basically he waited for price to get above the previous week's high and then he sold it once it got back under it. And yesterday he was still holding the position. So that would have been a good trade to take in hindsight, but we were looking for the breakout. And if we do get a breakout, I still have a bullish target of $28,000. There's a gap up there and everything else, but you are at the top of a Bollinger. You're at the top of your expected move range. It just can't get anything going. That means nobody's up here buying it. So we'll wait for it to find support and we'll look to be a buyer down there if it wants to. On Bitcoin, like if it's going to be a trap, once again, you got to get all the way down there. And that swing low down there, it's a pretty good piece. So it would look extraordinarily bearish if it could get down there in a span of a couple days. And it can. Look at the size of that candle. So yeah, it could put one to the downside that big. Today's Tuesday, and we currently have a weekly high in. So it does look to me like it maybe wants to go lower. So we'll have to keep our eyes on it. But if you're looking for bullish entries today, that's going to be difficult. It's just not giving much, right? There's support right there. So you'd want to look to take that bullish entry as close to that as possible. Right? You haven't been able to close even an hourly under 23,944. Because it's $24,000. 24 is a big figure number. Big figures, typically will act as resistance or support depending on where price is at. And like I said, you just made a fresh monthly high on the dollar today. And currently on Bitcoin, you're still green on the month. Let's do something real quick. Let's just see where that monthly open is. Way down there. So you got a long ways to go before you're red on the month on Bitcoin. It's not that far, but a couple days you could be there. This was the price that I was watching before I was going to lose my bullish bias. If we'd done that, then I was going to look to sell any swing highs. And I still might, right? Just because we haven't broken down yet. If the trade isn't to the upside, we'll take it to the downside. Right now we have an obvious resistance right there. Hourly close above means you're probably going higher. But I was looking for that to happen yesterday and it didn't. Oh. If you were looking to take the trade there, you'd be targeting support, which is also daily support. So, I mean, do we take the trade? Do we take the short? It obviously looks weak. You cannot get higher. It's been in this range for a very long time. I mean, essentially this is what we got going on right here. From 22 to 25K. It's not the biggest range in the world. It's very boring to trade. Especially when you're not getting any kind of continuation. Euro pound already hit targets, so that we can get rid of that. Alright, see how pound Aussie pushed up? You don't want to take the short just yet. I kind of want to see a liquidation happen, but it doesn't mean it will or it doesn't have to happen. So now one could probably do something like this. You would want to use 25 pips on this because it's not very, 25 pips isn't very far. It's the Australian dollar, British pound, so it moves fast. And you can see, obviously, there's a massive spread there. It's a terrible entry. Terrible entry. But we'll keep an eye on it. Let's pull the stop down there. Even closed above there, so it might still just be a little bit early. Or it might not even be the trade, right? It's only 8:30, so 30 minutes you can still wait. Bitcoin's breaking down. There she goes. Damn it, man. I just felt like I needed to be in this thing to the short side. But we'll see what happens. There's daily support down there. Just stalling at resistance. Stalling at resistance, it's never fun. Well, it is if you're positioned short. You suggest Googleplex says your last stream I suggested short at 25,190, top of wedge, worked out great. Good. I mean, good, man. We were looking for the breakout, right? So it just didn't happen. But now I'm not, no longer. If it don't hold support here, then it's going lower. And we've already discussed where. But typically, I want to see the weakness before I look to short into strength. You're still above the 50. This thing could still turn around and be bullish at any time. So even though it can't get anything bullish going, if you look at the bearish retracements, the bears haven't been able to get anything going either. So like, even if you do take that, like that's the best place to take it. And you had a very good, easy trade to take just by watching last week's high. But you're still structured bullish. But the support is probably down here somewhere. If this keeps trading sideways like this, the 21 is going to catch it. And then this may end up being the support. But it's hard to even get long because of the wicks. Right? There's the intraday supports aren't doing anything, essentially. It's choppy. Very choppy price action. I mean, you do currently have support, and you could kind of buy it if it gets down there. You don't want to buy it up here. You want to buy it down there. But the short trade, may work out. So it's going to be difficult to try to buy it there. Pound Aussie pushing up, back up into the resistance once again. So even though it's starting to move a little bit to the downside, good morning, baby. It isn't a vicious move. It looks vicious if you're looking at the 5-minute, but it's not a big move. It's just going lower here. So watch 23,944. That's the price to get under. That is daily support. And you've been under it several times, but you've not been able to stay under it. But this time you may, because your swing highs are getting lower. It does look like it wants to break down. But good job on the short. What happened with the blue chart? Oh, I still have it. Oh, no, I don't. I don't know what happened to the blue chart. I can't tell you. I have no clue. It should have been saved. Let me see. Do I have another one? Yeah, for some reason it when I hit apply to all, it changed this one back to normal color. But when I hit apply to all, I meant the orders to show the executions, not to change the candle colors. But it's okay. I mean, I don't mind looking at them no matter what color they are. Why do you think? Okay, why do we think we're lagging? Just sellers. That's it. That's the only thing one can say. It's just sellers. Doesn't that make it the best bet? The short? Yeah, probably. But you're still bullish. I mean, I just have rules. You don't have to obey my rules. I don't want to short at the day low either, ever, right? You're currently trading as an inside day. Your range is very small. I don't want to take a short down here. So in order for me to get short, I would need to test the daily resistance, or at least. And then I would want to see it fail there or there. Anywhere under daily resistance. Anywhere just under here, right in here. That would be a good place to look for a short now that we have this data. Now that we know, you can't get anything going. You can look to take a short there, not down here. Because you're above the 50 on the daily still. You're still structured bullish. But it does look bearish. It looks like a 3-drive topping formation. So, that's distribution. Whenever you get this kind of formation going, there's big sellers up here. And usually once you get the third one, it's typically when it goes. See ya. And it might, either today or tomorrow. Might get a massive big down candle, but I'm not willing to take a short at support. I wait for the better opportunities or the higher probable opportunities, and even then they don't always work out. right? Even then, they don't always work out. If you're not in this yet and you are watching it and planning on taking it, it might be best to wait at least until you get really close to the close, which is in 30 minutes or 21 minutes, or see what happens once you get above this swing high. Obviously, it's going to stop this position out if it gets up there, but if it gets up there and then fails and gets back under resistance, then you can take that trade and target this down here. A breakout and continuation means that even looking for a short trade is wrong. It's bullish. But the pound is weak today. Let me see here. I don't think it's the weakest asset on the day. No, JPY is the weakest. That's funny because yesterday it was the strongest. Crazy price action across the board in a lot of asset classes. I thought I thought the dollar was done. I thought the dollar was going to roll over. My short position that I had on USD JPY has been stopped out. I mean, this thing is up almost a whole percent today. The dollar made a fresh monthly high just this morning, just now. That is a fresh monthly high, the month of August. So will it act as resistance? Yeah, it's possible, but I mean, you're breaking out as well. This is going to be weekly and daily resistance right there. So, I mean, you're breaking out. It could hold, it could stop and roll back over for sure, but I mean, when you make a fresh monthly high like that after 3 days ago making the low. So this was the low of August. Now you just made a fresh high. But it can still be choppy and sideways. We'll have to give it more time to see. But if this thing starts to break back out and starts to head back up to 109,330, then Bitcoin's probably going to be looking for new fresh lows. And the same could be said for the SPX. The SPX is a very small range day. And I mean, each resistance that it's making is just, it makes it difficult because which one do you look for? Which one do you take the entry at? Nice move yesterday. And then it's straight sideways. Will it do that again, or does it reverse and get back under this 50% retracement? So if you think it's going to be a short, where do you put your entry? Support is right there, 42.87. And you're getting ready to push into it. Ethereum pushing up. And then getting sold off. But this was a breakout, essentially. Nice close above resistance. Yeah, Bitcoin's it just sucks lately. For whatever reason, it's not able to do anything. And you have other assets like Doge and Shiba. Before that, Shiba was rolling to the upside as well. This is daily support. What is SHIB doing today? Probably not much. It's down 1.31% according to Bitget. But their exchange, they do their dailies differently. So you have ENS, according to Bitget, that's up 3%. And then a couple that are not up even 1%. Doge up 11%. We have a few currencies that are up. A few cryptos that are up. But the overwhelming majority of them are red. I'm going to build a Bitget watch list so that way I have all of them over here on TradingView, so that way I can see what percentage they're up on that. What do you think, Bitcoin? Oh, read that already. At what price do you guys make a major purchase on Bitcoin? I started buying it in July, at the beginning of July. At the beginning of July, I started to purchase it as it was moving down and then into July. And that was, down around 19,000. That's going to be the bottom end of this range. 18,000 bucks, 19,000. Does it even get back down there though? We don't know. You know what I mean? I was assuming that Bitcoin would be trading at $28,000 this week. Last week, I was assuming that, but it didn't. It got sold off again. Not sold off, but it got rejected again. Right? It could still hold. It just doesn't look like it's going to. And even on, even if we go over here to Glassnode, there's not a lot of buying going on the trend score. See this? I mean, there's hardly no buying going on. Nobody's buying it up there. That's why it can't go anywhere. Here today, all the buying there, then a lot of buying there, but you can see how the buying has waned, and that's why Bitcoin can't get anything going. There's no demand. You got to have demand for the asset to continue up. Must have it. Today could be a sit on your hands day. Absolutely. Yesterday was a sit on your hands day. We've had a lot of them lately because of its sidewaysness. It's sidewaysiness. Yeah, still holding it after taking profits. Fantastic. I wouldn't close it. I would just leave it on. You took profits on the move lower, so just hang on to it. Because that might have been the trade right there. You won't know until we've had enough time. You need more data. We were bullish. We were looking for the breakout. We got long down here on Friday, was it? Friday morning, we bought that. Support. Ding. And then Friday, we had a fantastic bullish trade. So even into Saturday, it looked like it was going to break out. It did break out. But then it failed. Instantly. So all this right here looks weak to me. Very weak. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, Bitcoin's pushing into daily support. We got 12 minutes until the close. Pound Aussie looking like it's wanting to close higher. What a garbage entry, but it's the spread on this thing is pathetic. 6.3 pips. Pathetic. Alright, Bitcoin's not quite into it, but it's pushing down to it. Will it hold or will it break down? Looks like it wants to break down. Looks like it wants to break down, but it could hold. Boop, boop, boop. 23,944. All right, so we're just gonna see if it wants to hold or if it wants to break down. It does look like it's trying to break down. I mean, you can see the wedge. Not really doing much, but breaking down. Now you're testing daily support currently. So we're going to see if it holds. Does it hold or does it break? A close under it would be a break. I still wouldn't buy it even if it doesn't break down though. You know what I mean? Because it's not a lot of momentum, but it's quite a bit of momentum. We got 9 minutes on the close. Let me see something real quick. What do you think about this? Expecting to see rallies from Euro USD, Pound Dollar, and JPY following this. Why would I expect to see rallies on that when the DXY just made a fresh monthly high? If it holds as resistance, I mean, you've just broken out on the dollar. Looks like it's trying to hold, right? So, I mean, if you were looking to short this, then that means you'd be looking to get long euro. I mean, it's definitely trying to pick a bottom, but you would watch supply. I mean, demand, apologies, which would be there, or you get long here, and you're literally trying to catch the bottom with a fresh breakout, fresh monthly high. So you don't have a fresh monthly low, or do you? Yes, you do. Fresh monthly low is set also. Ooh, it's going to be close. 1227. 1228. So this low is still intact for now. That is the August low. Oh my gosh, it was so close. 1/1000th of a penny. So, I mean, that's where you would be looking to buy. I don't know why you would expect it. Why I wouldn't expect it. I mean, here's your breakout. Clear and obvious breakout. I mean, even then it was struggling. But your supports kept getting higher and higher. And then boom, there's your breakout. And then boom, right back down to the low. It looks like it wants to see downside continuation. But you know, we'll see. I mean, there's still obviously a lot of demand on the dollar. So this just pushed up above the swing high. So now, but you see how now the size of the candle where it's putting this resistance down here towards the midpoint of this range. Chances are this is not coming back. This is probably gone. But you could watch it. You got 6 minutes on the close, and it needs to close back under this. Otherwise, you got to leave it. Leave it be. The Euro pound trade was the first trade that I was looking at. That was the one that I wanted to take. That was the one that worked out. But it probably ain't working out now. I mean, it got down there. It didn't take it out, but it got down there. You would have been taking profits on that. Now this is going to start to look like it wants to find support. Let's see what the dollar. Let's see what the dollar weekly looks like. I mean, it's going to look big, right? Yeah, is this going to be the weekly high? I mean, it's possible, but I mean, why would it do that? This just looks like a fake out choppy move. It's difficult to trade it. It looked like it was done here. And then now you're back above last 2 weeks highs. Because you got fresh 2 weeks worth of highs and a fresh monthly high. It looks bullish. If anything, I'd be watching that for, even if it does hold today, you're not going to get far. Just straight up. Each day it's had a marvelous stab to the upside. Yeah, and that's going to make it difficult for Bitcoin to get any bullishness going, ain't it? Because it's trading against the dollar. You're still above support. Would a short Doge be the trade of the day? Once again, you're picking the top. As long as you know that you're trying to pick the top, then take it. Hourly resistance is 0.888. So you would take it. It would look something like this. You have a wick high to throw your stop over right there. So sure, why not? We did short on a strong asset yesterday, and it was a profitable trade. It was CHZ, but then after we took our profits, and I mean the minute after, it spiked right back up to our entry and then ended up breaking out for the rest of the day. It's possible Doge does the same thing. Just because Bitcoin is breaking down doesn't mean that Doge will. But that's your entry, something like that, if you're looking to take the short on Doge. So let me pull Doge up over here on my brokerage. My exchange. You bastard. There you go. Thank you. So, I mean, it wouldn't be the trade of the day. You're trying to short a strong asset. That would be like trying to buy Bitcoin at support, right? The trade was probably earlier. But if you want to short Doge, we'll keep it on watch. I don't necessarily want to short it. But yeah, if Bitcoin starts breaking down really big, then Doge will probably have topped out. If it starts to break down, then Doge will probably have topped out. Let me see something over here. $880.88026 on Bitget. It's 0.088. Well, now it's different. Yeah, that's a pretty good size move, man. I mean, you're trading at the high of day even. But yeah, if Bitcoin starts to break down, a lot of these are going to follow it. But it doesn't mean it has to be today. But if you're going to short it, do it something like that. And we were talking about shorting Ethereum Classic on Sunday's stream as well. Let's go see what that thing did. Yeah, it pulled right back up into resistance and it's rolling over. So that's where I said for people to watch, to be a seller, a retest of that. And you can see yesterday it traded right up to it, retested it flawlessly, and now you're getting downside continuation. So 43.53 was the short that I called out Sunday. It looks like it's doing pretty damn good. but that's calling a top as well, right? But what we were doing is we were waiting on a liquidation of that. We got that, and then we pulled back. So Sunday, it was already red on the day. So I told people to watch either Monday or Tuesday for a pullback into resistance there. That's where you would want to look to get short. See, Doge doesn't have that, right? That's where you would have been looking to get short on Doge today. And as you can see, it broke out. Smoked anybody that looked to get short there. But that would have been the place. So now is this the place? The only thing that you got to hold you back is an hourly close. That is it. Nothing major. But to be fair, you've tested it and you are pulling back. So, I mean, that's your call, not mine. But you are trying to short a very, very strong asset. The strongest asset on the day, as far as I can see. According to Bitget, it's the strongest asset on the day. So we'll keep it on watch, and then I will throw an alert right there. Because that's the only place you can enter it short. Bitcoin did close below daily support. It's the first time it's closed an hourly below it. It doesn't look good. It looks like it wants to go lower. SPX is barely down. Barely. I mean, these are very small freaking ranges. All right, let's go see where pound Aussie's at. Nope, big strong close above. So you scrap this trade. You scrap it. So we can get rid of that. I don't know why EuroCAD's on there. Let's go look at CHZ real quick and just discuss that a little bit. It was there, wasn't it? Where was it? I know it wasn't a big trade. I don't remember where it was. But I know that this happened after, so boom. Doge could do that same exact thing today. Because Bitcoin wasn't going up when we shorted CHZ either. Oh, when you're trying to pick a top like that, understand what's happening, right? More buyers than sellers. That's why it's going higher. And also what you've done now is you got your sellers backs against the wall. So if the longer it stays trading on highs, the more anybody that shorted there, the more pressure that they're in. So, I mean, you could see this thing squeeze even further for a couple days, depending on how bad the short squeeze is. You got daily resistance right there. And then where does that translate? Yeah, I mean, you do currently have daily resistance there as well. But, oh man, just please understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to short something that's in the process of squeezing shorts. So don't risk more than 1% on it. All right. What's up, Ahmad? What do you think about? Oh yeah, I don't understand why we would be looking for those two things to start flying back to the upside. Maybe pound or USD JPY, but if dollar stays strong, then that's probably going to go up. 23,200-ish if it breaks. Would I short Doge? Doge, the puppy's holding the market up. I got filled earlier this morning on Doge at 0.0879. So right under that. All right. We'll keep it on watch because Bitcoin ain't doing anything and we weren't able to get into a position there. So we'll keep Doge on watch. I do know one thing. This was one of my funnest assets to short when we were breaking down back at the beginning of 2022 because this thing moves. It moves. FTM for gaming space. Is that versus Tether or what? I'll just look at it versus Tether. I mean, it's moving less than Bitcoin. These are so small, these ranges, man. Very small. This got absolutely annihilated. Why? Well, that is not what I wanted to do here. I mean, to be fair, it's still up 90% from the lows. But those daily ranges are so tiny. It looks like it's found resistance at the old daily resistance. Is at the May 30 candle. It is. So the May 30 candle is holding resistance on a lot of these things. So it looks like it's wanting to go down. You are into support, but if Bitcoin breaks down, a lot of these are going to break down with it. Here is your support, current support, until you get a daily close under it. That's it. You've already tested it today, but that's the same support as Bitcoin. So you can see how you tagged resistance and you had a bearish day, then you liquidated that high, and then you rolled over. Pretty much the exact same thing that Bitcoin did and done and is at. So it looks like this is probably more or less following Bitcoin. You're still in a bullish trend. Well, from the lows, you're in a bullish trend and you're at the 21 right now. So right now you're at a pretty pivotal place on FTM. You do got bearish divergence going on there. Well, no, you don't, because that is a higher high, so never mind. But still, I mean, it looks droopy, toppy. So daily support is right there, 36 cents, 36.70. You want to see that hold on a closing basis. If today closes above it, then maybe tomorrow you can look for bullish entries on FTM, really close to that daily support. And we'll do the same thing on Bitcoin if it holds. We'll see how today closes on Bitcoin, and then we'll reestablish or look for new entries. It is struggling to stay below that support, but the 21 is well below it. So it's probably less likely to hold. I mean, even if you look at this old resistance here as potential support, you've already tested it multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just not, it's almost like people have just forgotten about it. Had a big volume day there, and then you got the bearish reaction. Look at this liquidation. It wasn't near the amount of volume as you had there. I mean, that just screams sellers to me. Screams sellers. On Bitget, the current resistance level or price for bearish entry is 0.088057. If you get a wick up to that, it's probably where you would be looking to take the short. But you are shorting a very strong asset. It is the strongest asset on the day that I can on the Bitget exchange. There is a referral link in the description for Bitget if you want to try it out. They have the lowest fees than any other exchange for cryptocurrencies. They're an up-and-coming exchange, so they're putting new futures contracts on for cryptos almost all the time. They have the cheapest fees. They have no slippage. The platform is good. It's not clunky. The transactions are quick. No KYC. All that good stuff that you like to have on an exchange. So yeah, give them a check them out. There's a link in the description. Make sure you use referral code XTSC. That is X-Ray Tango Sierra Charlie when you sign up, and I thank you in advance. So not a whole lot of not a whole lot of volume on Bitcoin even now. You can see over here that, the SPX is barely down. It's barely down. So 9:30, we got 20 minutes before the markets open. And maybe I'll take that short trade on Doge with you then, but not before. No way I take it before that. Let me get some more Essentia, the best water on earth. Bought a gallon of it. All right. I drink a ton of water. All right, so yeah, SPX ain't doing anything. Got some divergence on the hourly, but I mean, you know what I mean? Who cares about that? Last 4-hour candle closed lower, so maybe it is going to look for lower prices today. How was the SPY? The SPY is gapping down a little bit pre-market. Not a lot, but a little bit. I am in that one I am short, okay? I'm not sure which one you're talking about, Carlos. Oh, what a short. Oh, short. Gotcha. So you're already in the short. All right. Good morning, Janet's Thoughts. Good morning. How is your day? Last night at 1 a.m., I think Bitcoin closed an hourly below the daily. Well, on the Coinbase chart, it doesn't show it. There it is. So it's very, very close, right? But you can see that it did close above it. There's the daily right there. See? Now, if you put it up on that for the demand, you did close below it. See that? But on the actual close, which is support, you did not. But it's likely going to, right? We just did there, so this is probably just a pullback. Doge is ticking up. That is daily resistance. You did close above it there, so but this is almost a perfect test of it. 880s. The high is 8798 on this candle. But you are shorting something that is strong. It is very strong. It's up 13.9% on Coinbase. And on Bitget, I got 13.03% up on the day. Big move. So you're definitely shorting something that's already got the shorts backs up against the wall. It is squeezing. Does this channel open daily, and at what time till what time does this channel open daily? Yeah, well, no. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till, around 10ish. If the markets are moving really good and we're in a position, then we will stay on and, until the position finishes out. Currently, we looked at a few Forex trades this morning. One did not work out. The other one, we were not able to get positioned for it. You know, that happens. But yeah, we do them Tuesdays and Thursdays and any day that there's a big news event. So like NFP will be live on that day. Non-farm payrolls will also be live on FOMCs. Like basically anything that's a big news event will be live covering it, and it'll be during the news event, depending on the time. FOMC does their thing at 2 p.m. Eastern, so we'll probably start going live at like 1. Excuse me. But yeah. My kids asked for a puppy. I bought Doge and said you'll thank me later. Bro, could you take a look at Gala? Yeah, let's go look at it. Gala closed above resistance. This looks similar to FTM. That was your resistance level. You closed above it, then the next day you closed right back under it. Currently testing it as resistance. 0.06886. Intraday, it looks like that. Beautiful. Nice strong close above the liquidation, and then you instantly get a pullback. So I don't know if this level holds intraday or not. You can see that you already tested the hourly resistance twice. Boom, boom. So that's the similar thing that we're looking for Doge to do, but obviously Doge is much stronger than this. But on the daily, it was looking good, and it's still not bad, right? You're bullish. You're above the 50, so I mean, you got bullish. The order flow's bullish for now. The 21 is well below price, so kind of caressing it, helping it along, if you will, staying under it. So maybe it's looking for a pullback into an old area of resistance, and maybe that holds a support. But I don't know if I'd be buying it up there. So maybe if it finds support, it looks okay. Just give it a couple days, let it pull back into support, let it find support, and then you can look for entries on it. DXY rolling over. It is struggling at a fresh monthly high. Yeah. It made a fresh monthly high right there, and now it's pulling back. Bitcoin is at still at daily support. So let's see if it can get anything going. If it does, that Doge trade is not going to work. If Bitcoin ends up becoming strong, getting back above that last hourly candle, Doge is going to keep going. What do you think about pound dollar for a short? Thank you in advance. Well, it's today I wouldn't. Simply because the dollar made a fresh low. If you were going to short it, you would have wanted to short it early today. But you can see how now you've gotten a blast right back up to that. That's kind of what hurt our pound Aussie short as well. Is the pound just all of a sudden got some strength. And this is against the dollar, so the pullback from the dollar is what's helping the pound get some strength. It is bearish. It does look weak. You did break down below support. I mean, all of that stuff checks the box for shorts. You're under the 50. You're under the 21. So, I mean, yeah. But I wouldn't short it now. I would wait for it to find resistance. As of right now, it looks like yesterday's close is what's holding it back from turning bullish. But last session, or the last hour, you did close above it, but you haven't closed above hourly resistance, just the daily. So if you were going to short it, that's probably where I would. But, I mean, it's not too late to take a new entry. but you're trying to short something that is obviously for the last hour been kind of strong. It's kind of choppy too, so yeah, I mean, nothing is really trending today. Well, Doge is pretty much the only thing that's trending. So watch that for entries, but at the same time, the dollar needs to stop pulling back. Otherwise, this is going to keep going higher. One spot 20574. Throw your stop above that. And I would probably take profits around the midpoint of this bullish candle. If I was to take that short, which I ain't. Not doing it. We got 11 minutes until the open. Would I wait for a specific time to get in? Yeah. At this point, since we're so close to the stock market open, I would wait for that because you're going to get an increase in volume for the first 15 minutes. That increase in volume could have it trade well above resistance. And if it does that, then I don't like it short anymore. If you tag that like you did on this 5-minute candle and then stall out again, then you can take a chance on shorting it. But even then, you're shorting something that is very, very, very strong today. Remember, FOMO people like to buy this stuff, so they're buying it down here. There'll probably be people buying it right there. And then where's the volume control or point of control at? Yep, figures way down there. But you can see how the volume is building up here. So people are shorting it. But people could also be buying it. It's actually more buying than selling according to these volume candles. The blue is buys, the yellow is sells. So there's a lot more buying going on in this volume than selling. Which means that you could, break back out. So just be careful. Be very, very careful. I got out with $200. Hey, $200 is $200. Hydrate or die. I use a water filter. Nice. Yeah, I love water. I drink a ton of it. I have a 32-ounce cup. It's a steel cup, stainless steel. It keeps the ice for a long time. I usually fill that thing up 3, 4, 5 times a day. And then when it gets evening time, it gets filled up with Sprite and vodka. So I must drink water. Or I will dehydrate. How is ETH looking? Well, it's down, but it's not down as much as Bitcoin. It looks better than Bitcoin. Even its structure is better than Bitcoin. There is no support, you can look at yesterday's close, but there's nothing under us that I could take, as a, I wish the daily support level was down around the same place as Bitcoin's is. But Bitcoin is trading down here around this candle, whereas ETH isn't. So ETH does look better. And to be honest with you, ETH even looks like it could be a buy. Because, you took out yesterday's low and you're trading away from it. So maybe that's where I could look to be a buyer again. Or just watch the intraday support that was formed at 1871. There. But it doesn't mean it'll get down there either. So when you take your entries, try to take them as close to the daily levels as possible. Those will typically be the ones that work out better for you. And around the open isn't bad, but as you're red, that means you're trading under the open. That's the open of the day right there. And there's more, there's a little bit of meat on the bone for a short on ETH. So watch 1899.05. And that's a big figure too. $19,000 or $1,900 is a big figure. So one could look for potential shorts there, and this would be your target. But the risk is big. I guess in this case, you could just put it right over the resistance. And then obviously this has to go up. It's just a 2-to-1. But I would much rather get it there. That would be the better place to get it. Because that allows you to wait and see if that's going to hold or not. But it's probably already done, right? If Bitcoin keeps going down, then this will more than likely not come back up to 1907. Point of control is where on this? Right here. I mean, a lot of volume trading right under $1,900. And then we can put this on there just to see, but my internet is not working good enough for that, probably. Come on, baby, you can do it. It's thinking about it. There it goes. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it still could be a short. I'd probably stay away from buying ETH today. I mean, this isn't nothing but like an intraday moving tool. You don't want to short it at every time it gets in the top of that, because if it's trending, obviously it can keep going. But it's a pretty good indicator for, seeing where intraday highs or lows could be. And it goes on volatility. So if the volatility expands, this will start to widen, get wider. Yeah. Probably looking to go lower on Ethereum. I got Doge pulled up on my other monitor. It's still not doing anything. It's still in the same spot it was. And we got 3 minutes until the open. And SPY is gapping down. That's pre-market where the SPY is trading. So if the SPY opens down here, pushes up, and then rolls back over, then it's probably looking lower on the day. The dollar is still, it's been pretty much, as soon as it made a fresh monthly high, it's rolled straight over. And Bitcoin is still weak. So, these are 15-minute candles, and the dollar's moving lower, so is Bitcoin. So, yeah, that... Bitcoin gonna take off from here, ain't it? We're gonna hold right there, and then it's gonna go straight up. CAD yen up almost 80%, almost a whole percent. Yeah, it is. CAD is strong today. JPY is weak. It's the weakest currency on the day. Yeah, yesterday was a fresh breakdown, and today you're trading back above it. It's inside though, but still, yesterday was a big down day. I would not have wanted to see it get higher than that if I was going to look for shorts on it. Which one could, right? It's just that crazy price action. It's been difficult trading a lot of things. I mean, look at that. It did get downside continuation and you're right back up. So maybe it finds resistance, but I would watch that price right there, 104.191, because if you close under it, then it's going to start to look like supply is setting there. And then maybe tomorrow we could short it. A daily close above 104.506, and then I don't like it for a short. As long as it's closing under that, we'll look for shorts on it tomorrow. We got 9:30, so this will be the last bit of the volume. SPY gap down. The XY still pushing lower. Throw ETH over here. See how it's pushing up? It might push up to there and then roll over. The dollar might find support because the dollar is bullish. Just because it's pulling back after making a fresh monthly high does not mean it is weak. It could just be pulling back. Take some profits on ETH. I don't know where is your entry and all that stuff, my man. I need to know where you entered the trade so that way I can tell you what I would do. We get the first 5 minutes surge of volume, see what happens with Doge. Here comes the pullback after gapping lower. Bitcoin moving up. Let's get Bitcoin over there. Yep. Is that the daily support? Let's make sure. It is. Daily support is holding still so far. Waiting for a test of that and a failure. ETH pushing back up. So it's at the open right now. Ethereum is at the open. This is the open right there. So if this is going to be a short, it needs to hold there. Point of control migrating higher on Doge. Yeah, there's a lot more buying going on Doge than selling. Which, means that could help your short case. But at the same time, you just gotta wait and see. Only time will tell if you're right or wrong on a trade. BTC will pump now. It's doing it a little bit, not much. I wouldn't call it a pump. I mean, you're just getting an influx of volume. This is the place to short ETH if you're looking for lower prices on Bitcoin and ETH. Bitcoin is too low and you're at daily support, so you can't short it. ETH isn't at anything, and it could get all the way down to there. That's, it's just a $20 move, but it is what it is. SPY pushed up, closes the gap, and now you're going to see the real move. So if it's going to be an up day, you should trade up higher. If the DXY is just pulling back, then this will more than likely continue lower for the day. And then the Doge short could work. But you need Bitcoin and Ethereum pushing down, not up. If they're pushing up at the open, it's pretty good for downside. And I mean, it's just Doge is having difficulty just pushing up back up to that. Let's just go give us a brief look at this. A lot of stuff down today. A lot of stuff is down today. Tesla's barely down. I mean, barely up. Tesla found support again. There goes Doge. So that would have been an opportunity there on Tesla. If you think it's going to go higher today. It has been going higher, but for the last few days. But we'll see. ETH is back above the open on the day, so that means it is green on the day currently. Shiba is moving up as well. Let's look at Shiba. Shiba Inu. It had a pretty big day the other day. Nice, big, solid, strong breakout. Shiba Inu, if it's going to roll over, that's the place to look for entries on it. 1690. And then obviously an hour close above it means I would scratch it. It's not having a very big day though. It's just barely up 0.55% according to Bitget. Let's go back to Ethereum. That's the daily open on Ethereum. And then this is daily support on Bitcoin. Tesla's moving up, just made a fresh high. Can it hold it? Can it hold it, or do we roll over? What? All right, there goes Bitcoin there. So that would have been the trade on ETH short at the open. Doesn't mean it's going to work. I'm just saying that's basically where you would have wanted to short it. And your take profit is down there. I thought we set it up already. That was not even going to give you a 2-to-1. Something like that, right? Because that's support down there. There goes the coin. Doge it's holding for now. For any newcomers, there are people that are short on Doge. If Bitcoin pumps to 28K, is that time to hop in some alts? Probably. I mean, if Bitcoin's going to pump to 28K, some alts may pump, but a lot of them already have, right? A lot of them have already. There goes Tesla. Boom, right there. Look at that, baby, go. That looks good. Remember, if Bitcoin finds support here and starts going higher, Doge will probably do the same. That's a nice rip on Tesla, but the thing is that it could still just be a short squeeze here, or not a short squeeze, but a liquidation of this swing high because that's yesterday's high. But it looks like it wants continuation. You're trading over even the other day's high, so that's good as well. There goes ETH. So what gives? Risk is up. What's SPY doing? Let's get it off Tesla and put it on SPY. Struggling, man. It's struggling to break down. So Bitcoin is still not breaking down. What the? So does that make Bitcoin a buy then if it's not able to break down? We'll see if it holds. I mean, it's already, this is daily support. So if you would want to see Bitcoin go higher, you want to see it start to trade away from this price. What is that up there? I don't even remember what that is. Nothing. It's just hourly resistance. Looks. It got close to the target, but it stopped at that support. Let's just give it a second here, see what it does. Obviously, Tesla can trade however it wants. Let me get it over here on the other screen. Let's put Tesla there. Come on, what is wrong with you? There you go. So Tesla broke over the swing high from the other day. It acted like it was going to get something going, and now it's kind of like stalled out a bit. There you go, Doge pushing higher. That's your entry on Doge if you like a short. I don't know if I would take a short looking at what Bitcoin and SPY is doing currently. SPY needs to like break down. But there you are. That's the price you watch. As long as you don't close an hourly above it, you know, it might break down. Tesla's still trading above that old swing high. Everything looks droopy, right? So this could roll over. And if it does, then this might roll over as well. So choppy. Yeah, a lot of things have been choppy for a while. ETH performing better than Bitcoin. It has been. Yeah, ETH is up 120% off the lows. Bitcoin's only up 40. So that is correctamundo. Today, $25,000 Bitcoin. If it can't break and stay under 24, then yeah. But I mean, this looks more droopy than anything to me. That's daily support, so you are having difficulty breaking down below it and staying below it. So we'll see what happens here. But for the last since 8:45, you got under it for a solid hour. You've done nothing. Just sideways, garbage. Usually you would already have a daily range expansion occurring on most of these things. That's your daily open on Ethereum, so you can see Ethereum is well below the open. Our target on Ethereum is 1871. But it's all going to hedge on what if risk rolls over or not. So we're just kind of keeping an eye on it. This could be the resistance on SPY. If it is, then it's I don't have a target to the downside on it though. It's right into supply. The short, I would probably maybe take it down to there, 424.79, but a close above 428. Doge given plenty of chances for people to get short. And Bitcoin still unable to break down and start to trend away from daily support. Just choppy stuff, man. It did break and close below last hour. You did get a close below hourly support. So, I'm leaning more towards the breakdown. And if it does break down, then that's going to be the target, 23.6. 500, but it's struggling. It is struggling. Struggling. Watching this is so intense. What, the Doge trade? Like I said, guys, I wouldn't short it because it is super strong today. And if SPY breaks out, Bitcoin's probably going to start trading to the upside. This will go higher. But as long as 428.63 is holding, we're looking for downside. And that could mean that this becomes a pretty decent short. It looks good so far for the breakdown. ETH coming into targets. So let's see what happens. It needs to follow through. Give me some follow through, please. Yeah, I mean, getting a target on SPY is difficult. Let's see if we can get a target on SPX. Yeah, it's support. So you don't have that on the SPY, but it's right there. So it would be there. That would be the target, 426. ETH finally pushing under hourly support there. Next step there. And that would be profit targets. On Doge, I mean, if it breaks down, there really is no profit target. Because anybody that shorted on the initial push there, they should have already took profits there. Unless they're expecting continuation to the downside. Let's get SPY back on the 5 minute, but we'll put a line down here as that would be the area of which I would be taking profits. You do definitely want to see it get under here because that's your open of the day. It's not the open for SPX, but it is the open for the SPY. So does it push down and make a fresh low on the day, and can we get continuation? That's what you need for the Doge trade to work. If it doesn't push and make a fresh low and then it starts to trade back away, it's going to look more and more like this is going to continue. Ethereum, even though Bitcoin has broken down, got the nice close under everything, still unable to push lower. And Doge is just setting right there at entries. So now basically what you're watching would be 428.21. A close above that would mean that you're holding at the open. Roll, please. Yeah. It's, guys, just trying to short something that is up 14% on the day is not typically the good move to make. Do you use any other time frame other than the 5 minute on the smooth indicator? Yeah, I look at it on the hourly as well. But, you know, the hourly is a little bit bigger. I like looking at the smooth indicator for like looking for potential turning spots. But, I mean, you don't have to use that indicator for that. You could use the 5 minute RSI. It gives you the same data, essentially. Because, I mean, what you're looking for is you're looking for intraday time frames to be overbought or oversold. Because price moves up and down, right? It doesn't move in a straight line down. Well, shit, I don't even have the RSI down here on Bitcoin. I would have to switch things around. So you can look at it. Here's your 5 minute RSI on Doge. Right? What you want it to do is hold and then roll over, show you that weakness is there. And it's not showing you that yet. See, SPY is almost oversold down here. And that's the open. Choppy, slow, laggy day, man. We've had that for a couple days on Bitcoin. Been just chopping around, choppity chop. Just chopping wood. Doge pushing back up to the entry. That is the entry, the top white line. Ethereum still has not hit target. Still has not hit the target. But it's trying. Very small target as well. But it is a 2-to-1 risk to reward if it does. SPY still looks okay. Still looks okay. But I don't want to see SPY back up to supply. That's supply right there, 428.63. Want to see it trend away from it. And then this white line is our target. Which could mean that you would get that breakdown on Doge. Could. It doesn't mean it will, because Doge obviously trades independent of the SPY. It's trading on its own volumes. And it's bullish on the day. It's up 14%. So it is a very extended move to the upside, for sure. Yesterday, CHZ was at the open where we was trying to get short. We did get short. It was a profitable trade. But then just as soon as it hit targets, it went right back up and broke out, made a new high on the day. And then from there went on to go on up into 9% on the day. This looks good. This still looks okay. You didn't quite hit oversold there, so there you still have a little bit of room to go. Doge just not doing anything. Not going down, not going up, just sideways, and it has been for an hour. But you can see how you're much closer to your entry and you're still trading at it. Point of control still down there on Doge. Volume building here. Now it looks like you're getting more sellers kicking up here. The blues, the buys. Remember, the blues were all the way out here earlier. Now you're getting the yellow bars are bigger. Suggest sellers are kicking up. This is not what you want to see, though, for the Doge short. That is supply. It needs to stop there. Tesla did roll over after it took out the high of the previous day. It did roll over, so if that's any indication of what how Tesla's going to trade today. So basically, we have a fresh low on Tesla, fresh low of the day. That could help this, but we'll see. Been very, very boring trading the last couple days. Very boring. Deep breath, mate. You guys are over leveraged. If you're stressed out from watching price not go in your direction, you are more than likely over leveraged. You're trading with too much size. You should be able to watch your position get stopped out, and it should not concern you in the least bit. If you are nervous, you are in a position that is too big. It looks good. Bitcoin looks good. Ethereum looks good. This doesn't look good, but I don't like that it it got down to the open of the day and then instantly jumped right back up to supply. And Bitcoin's been struggling at daily support for over an hour. We just finally broke down and it's still just right there. No trending at all today. And we're in 10 o'clock, so most of the volume is in for the day. We're probably going to hit targets soon on Ethereum. Like to see SPY get back down there. There you go. Not doing nothing. Nothing. Uber bouncing off a 200-day SMA. Let me get Uber over here. Uber had a gap down and it's seeing downside continuation. So you're saying on the daily, but it's getting continuation to the downside. Uber is. Ethereum's about to hit targets. Doge pushing back up. SPY coming back down. That's what you want to see. That's good news right there. That means supply is holding. And now we must get that lower close. So Doge gave you plenty of opportunities to enter. There goes Bitcoin making its move lower. Uber is into August the 9th's high. Tesla, fresh low of the day. Tesla just took out yesterday's low. Tesla moving away. There we go, baby. That's what we want to see. Now you can feel a little bit better about your position. Come on, Ethereum, take out that target. SPY moving down. This is the target on the SPY, 426.35. Doge still not doing nothing. Fresh low of day on the SPY. Still did not hit our target. Why do you prefer SPY versus the SPX for analysis? Because I trade the SPY more than I do the SPX. The SPX options are much more expensive and they will destroy you much quicker than the SPY options. So buying 428 strike puts, looking for $2 on them. That's depending on how many options you buy. That's $100 per contract. You know, if you got 10 of them, that's $1,000 on just $1 move. So the SPY is, in my opinion, it's the one I like to trade the most. So I got my SPX analysis. It's not doing nothing. It's a tiny range day. Right? This is the open on SPY. The open of the day. So when we push down like that, it looks fantastic, but I want to see close below, and I want to see the next 5-minute push higher. Then the next one put another big down candle like that. The fact that Doge is still at the entry scares you. And it should, because this thing is up 14% on the day. Fresh low of there. Uber is pulling back off of the lows, but after putting in a fresh low of the day, Tesla doing the same thing. Tesla took out yesterday's low, and it's, pulling back a bit. And the closer you get to 11 o'clock, the more scary this becomes. Because then it starts to look like the low of day is in. And if the low of day is in, then it's probably going to trade away. But we will see. Alright, so Doge is still green. Here we go, pushing back into the entry. Doge may be looking for a run against the high. You're above the entry on Doge. Just because these things look weak does not mean this will be weak. This is the strongest asset on the day. Ethereum just needs to push down $5 more, and we'll be done on that one. Doge pushing up. That's when it starts to get really, really scary, because when it starts doing things like that, it's just a matter of seconds when it's going to be above this swing high. So hopefully, hopefully you got that risk mitigated, or at least you weren't in it very much of a position. What you want to see once it breaches the high of day is you want to see an instant rejection. As if it breaches the high of day and gets a big spike up into like 0.91, then that's going to look like bullish continuation. And Bitcoin is still just trading at the freaking support. SPY set in a new low of day, and it's going right back up. Here comes the high of day push on Doge. This position. There goes the high of day. You needed to start. Oh no, that's what you need. It needs to come down now. There when everybody stops who was short Doge. So if it is going to be a short, it will do it now. So there's what we usually say: when you get back under the high of day, then you can look for those entries. But be very careful. It needs to stay under that if it's going to go lower. Where's Tesla at? Tesla went on and made a new fresh low, and it's still trading under yesterday's low. That is a nasty spike. Liquidations. Feels like pond fishing with a bobber, yeah. Or mud puddle fishing with a bobber, really. You're like fishing in a pond, there's no fish in it. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Looks like the NASDAQ broke down. NASDAQ breaking down would help. Bitcoin and stuff break down, but here goes Ethereum not wanting to push into our target. It still could. It's early, but Doge is still trading above the high day, guys. Remember, when the shorts backs are up against the wall, short squeezes can last for days. For days. So now this will be the point of interest. I mean, if you start closing 5-minute candles above that, it's probably going to go on up. Now that we have this, back down here, maybe this was just a stop run, and then now it gets its move to the downside. Ethereum trying to push lower here. What in the... If SPY could get going, I do believe it could hit 426. Bitcoin fresh low, which is nice. This is the target on Bitcoin, more than likely. Just can't break down. Can't go up, and it can't break down. Gotta love it. Doge back up to the highs. That's the high of day, or the old high of day. Now that's the high of day. But if you keep trading above that, you're going higher. I'm stressed out from price going nowhere. Yeah, it sucks when it does that. 2 hourly close on Bitcoin under daily support. That's good, Jimenez. Tesla took out yesterday's close, not yesterday's low. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Well, I was just going by the wicks down there. But you're right. I could see just by putting it on a daily. Yesterday was a big bullish day, so there's no way it took out yesterday's low. You're right. Yep. It just opened up, and you're getting a pullback. But that close down there on yesterday's close, that could potentially act as support. So let's get rid of Bitcoin since we're not on it. Let's just throw a Tesla up over here. Your Doge, this is not looking good. So yeah, this is the daily close yesterday. So you were right. That's what I meant. Your low is down here. That's yesterday's low. So, if it rejects and gets back above 927, 96, it could go up. It opened up, took out today's high, yesterday's high, and then rolled down, made a fresh low on the day. So is the low in or is the high in? Well, you'll know at 11. Doge needs to get a fat rejection to make people feel better about him. And then the SPY needs to do the same thing, so those puts don't expire worthless. This is our target on Ethereum. We're just waiting. It still hasn't been hit. Struggling to go anywhere. Not a whole lot of stuff up here for Tesla. Big resistance level right there. It's still nice, you know what I mean? It's still nice once it got back under the high, and it's this high over here. Kind of lets you know that you got a decent trade there. Doge pulling away from the high, which is good, what you want. Tesla trying to make a fresh low on the day. SPY still trading sideways, choppy. And can't even hit our target yet still. Normally what I would do if something like this was going on, I would just go ahead and eat the other what little bit that's there. Say screw it, because it could turn around. If it's struggling to go lower, then, you know. But I mean, it's not. This isn't as bad as Bitcoin or the SPY. The SPY's been doing the same, trading in the same exact zone for a long time. At least Ethereum has this low and trying to make a new low. There you go. There you go. There you go. Hit targets, biatch. Tesla moving lower. Lovely. SPY is surely to follow. Doge breaking down after liquidating early shorts. What did I say when we open up? There's no way I take it until at least after 9:30, and then we'll see what happens. Nice liquidation up there. Boom. Now you're getting a move away from it. We just hit targets on Ethereum. We can close that. So yeah. With everything else moving to the downside, that's what it had us kind of really not loving it, but at the same time, I love to see it do that. And here's the thing on this. If you're still holding the short, I would just throw my stop over the high of day. Because if you get back up there again, then you're going to more than likely see bullish continuation. But here's the thing on Doge. If Bitcoin breaks down, then that could end up being a decent short. And it could last for a few days. Well, we don't want Bitcoin USDT. Right? So there's the daily support. But here's yesterday's low. We haven't taken it out yet. It takes that out. Does it bounce? Or does it continue? Good on that short, Jimenez. Taking a short after getting the liquidation on last week's high. Fantastic place to enter. And you're looking fantastic now. Yesterday was an outside day to the downside, and you're about to take out yesterday's low on the Bitcoin. Fantastic job on that trade. Beautiful push. There's the low. So now do we bounce? Or do we get continuation? Didn't take out anything on Ethereum. Yeah, we did. We took out yesterday's low. That's yesterday's low on Ethereum. We haven't taken it out yet. What's going on? Why does that? So clearly, that means we've taken it out earlier. Like during the night, I guess. Yeah, over here. Or right before the London session. So Bitcoin moving down again. SPY still not breaking down. Look at that. That's the low. So this had already taken it out. Boom, boom. You didn't even get there this time. SPY still struggling at the lows. I want to see it break down pretty damn soon, or I'm going to exit that position. And we got Bitcoin rejecting after a liquidation of yesterday's low. So sometimes we trade these types of moves too, where we'll get long after this happens, looking for this to be oversold. Well, here, let's do it like this. Let's just get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. There. Why did they start putting a freaking moving average in there? You're oversold there on the 5-minute. Just barely. But these kind of trades are decent for like a bounce. Just a bounce. You look for the bounce, and then wherever it stalls out, that's where you try to exit that position. I wouldn't do it today because the momentum on basically everything is lower. Ethereum getting a big bounce. Yeah. Remember, if you get back above that stuff, man, just probably go ahead and exit that because it's not working. Now that we liquidated yesterday's low on that, and you're trading away on the SPY, you're just almost traded up to daily resistance, and that's why you got the pullback now. But if you're going to see bullish continuation, which you may, because this thing cannot break down for whatever reason, so we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin for the rest of the day. If it comes back down here and stalls out, we may be looking to potentially get long on Bitcoin just because of that, right? Just because of the liquidation. But you can trade these for bounce trades if you get that reaction. They're being levered up 50x down there, boom. You're up nice on the trade already quickly. But you got to have a decent sized account to play like that. Otherwise, you're going to get killed in fees and you're not going to see much growth. But those are decent, good places to look for a rebound, which is what you're doing right now. Right? This is daily support. Let's get the daily support back up there because that's where it needs to hold if it's going to see downside continuation. And then that'll be our range of attrition. And Doge is not breaking down. It's still, I mean, it looks better than it did, but I want to see it start to break down. I would love to see the SPY break down soon. Soon. These type of patterns are often looked at with bullish breakout potential, though. Bullish breakout potential. That's supply. You filled the gap. You set in a fresh low of the day. And so far, it looks like it wants to rebound, doesn't it? We don't know if that'll be a rebound on Bitcoin, but it's looking like it wants to. Can't go anywhere, and then you take out the low and you get an instant bullish reaction like that. That's typically good. Tesla took out, yeah, read that. Perfect. Uber, to be clear, I mean finding resistance at a 200 SMA. Bouncing was the wrong word to use. That's fine. It's all good. Yeah, I got you, John. I realized the mistake I was making. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ray. Do you think we can pump to 25K today? It's unlikely. I mean, it'd be $1,000 move, over $1,000 move, but I mean, Bitcoin's done it before. It's just not likely. If you were getting long on Bitcoin, that was the place to do it. At the low of yesterday. And that still doesn't mean that your trade's going to work, because slowly for the rest of the day, it'll just trade sideways and then roll over. But if it trades away from that and, you know, starts making big bullish candles, then it's probably going to finish the day up. Because if we come over here and look at this, you're going to see that you're barely down on the day. You're not even down 1%. Right? SPY, barely down. Barely. Now, SPY, you know, doesn't move that much. But these things aren't like super down. We've been trading sideways for over an hour. We need to break down. If it's going to break down, it needs to do it soon. And that's the way I was trading it. I was trading it as it was going to break down. And it looked like it was going to. It still may. Doge is trading away from that price. And so if you're still in that, you might be good on the day. Just make sure you get them stops situated. Because any kind of good news that comes out, if any news comes out now, and it's good news, especially since you liquidated yesterday's high, it could give Bitcoin a nice little bid. I don't think it will happen, but we shall see. And our targets was hit on Ethereum. That's the wrong one. Looks good. That's what you want to see right there. Yes, baby. Yes. Doge coming off now. That looks good too. I wanted this. No, this. Hourly. Well, it's not a monster trade, was it, right? But it was a legit trade that worked. And that's all that matters in this game. Do you take P&L away when you enter? Or does your P&L get smaller? If it gets smaller, you got to figure out what you're doing wrong and fix that. And usually taking a short on an asset that's up 14% is not the best call in the world, but it is starting to trade away from it now. That's what you want to see. There's still hourly support just under you, so it could trade. That's the wrong one. That's what that white line is on the bottom. It's just that. So they're not a bad place to take profits if it gets back down there. SPY pushing lower. This low might not hold for the day. Come on, break down already. I got to go. 1873. Let's see what we look like on the daily. Not you. Stokes is just now starting to roll over on the daily. Get some expansion. Give me some of that expansion. You did hit overbought on Ethereum. You never did hit overbought on Bitcoin. You got close, but you didn't hit it. Doge breaking down. Yeah, baby. Go. Was set on that one all day. Was set in this one all day and see what happens with it. Ethereum Classic was the best call of the week so far because that thing is rocking and rolling to the downside. Well, no, it's not actually. It still hasn't taken out yesterday's low. But SPY is still not breaking down. Still not breaking down on the SPY. You can see how the open of the day is holding as support, right? Get up there. There's your open on the day. Kind of holding, acting as support. Yo, what is up, Trade Talk? What's up, Aaron? Man, you're late. Can I check out DKNG? Yeah, why not? DraftKings. It's doing pretty much the same thing as SPY did. There's your open on the day on DraftKings. So you filled the gap, found resistance. You still haven't made a fresh low on the day yet. SPY has taken out the low of the day with this push right there. So, I mean, it does look good. It does look like you will break down eventually. But we'll see, right? That's the fresh low of the day. And as of right now, you're red on the day. Or as you were green throughout this whole period of time. There goes the breakdown. A fresh low on the day. DraftKings coming in. Let's look at DraftKings overall chart. It looks good, but as the same thing as that appears to be happening on a lot of these things is they're just topping out, which is okay. You got support on DraftKings right there, 1854. So if it pushes down to here, that's going to be the first place to look for support. Or one could even look for support there at 1794 being the weekly open. That's going to be this support here. Or close to it. So that's probably where I'd be looking for it to pull back to. Either there or there. And then maybe look for that bullish re-entry. But if these things are going to pull back for a bit, it's hard to say where it will find support again. The last 3 earnings have been beats. This asset makes money. You know what I mean? Especially they legalize gambling in America. These kinds of things will make a ton of money. I'm sure of it. So it might not be a bad thing to be in overall for the long haul. SPY breaking down. This is my target, but I may just take profits halfway down there just because of how much it has struggled to break down. But we'll see what it does here in just a little bit, and then we'll wrap it up. But DraftKings is just, it's just following the SPY. It had a very similar open, and then traded like sideways. You do have your low is still in from the open. That's the low of day so far. And SPY just made a fresh low of day, which is nice. This is pulling into target number 1. And it happened after the liquidation of today's high. So keep that in mind. It happened after the open on the New York Stock Exchange, and it happened after it liquidated the high. And it was pretty much a one-sided move after that. Doge closed long for 11% profit. Fantastic. DXY getting a bashing Well, then that means, eventually it will either stop getting bashed or Bitcoin may find a low a day somewhere today. Right? Made a fresh monthly high on the DXY and then it rolls over. Pound Swiss overbought, sell GBP Swiss. I don't know. It's too late to take FX trades. And this pair is one of the worst pairs to trade for the spread. It's not big on Oanda though. There's no way I would sell that, man. No way. You got a bullish engulfing on the daily. Your resistance isn't until 1.15165. It would have to get there before I would even think about taking a short trade on it. And then even if you do take a short trade on it, what's likely to happen is the daily range, if it gets up there, is just going to roll over a little bit and trade sideways at the highs. There's no way I would look to take that short. That's similar to what we've seen happen on Doge, right? But this didn't just run the high. It got continuation. So it's not a bearish trade. SPY breaking down almost to our 426.35 target. DraftKings fresh low on the day. No, I would not take that short on that pound Swissy trade. No way. There's Tesla. Tesla getting bruising. Love it. Almost down to yesterday's open. That quick. Same thing occurred here on Tesla as what happened over here on Doge. All you did at the open was you pushed up, liquidating yesterday's high and this high, which was August the 4th. I'm not sure what day that was. But that's the highest point in the range. And now you're pulling back. Beautiful trading. Beautiful. Perfect. You can't get no better than that. So we had one trade on FX that was a failure. We had a profitable trade on Doge and on Ethereum. Not a bad day. 3 out of 4. Not bad. SPY is in profits big time now. If I wanted to close it down, I could. I'll leave it open for where it is, or I'll probably take off half the contracts. That way, no matter what, I can't lose money on it. At least get that taken care of. And get all the risk situated to where you don't have any risk left on the table, and then you just let it ride out for the rest of the day. Awesome. But yeah, don't mess with pound Swissy. Not yet. Give it a couple days to find resistance, and then maybe, because it is trending down on the daily. It is in a downtrend. Rug pull on this week for sure. We were looking for it though. I mean, we were looking for it. We're looking to see if the SPX puts in a trap. All right, so since all our trades are profitable and we're getting ready to wrap it up, let's go ahead over here and let's discuss the SPX just for anybody who isn't aware or doesn't understand what we're looking for here. So the SPX has broken above the 50% retracement. And since that's happened, a lot of people are now bullish, right? So what we're looking for is we're looking to see if this weekly candle is a trap. And the only way we're going to know if that happens is if we take out the low right there. So I don't think it is a trap. I think that what you're seeing today and what you might see tomorrow, or even for the whole entire week, it could trade all the way down to the midpoint of this candle. And as long as it's maintaining that, it is still structured bullishly. So the 50% retracement on the SPY, or SPX, sorry, is 41.9540. So this weekly range could go all the way down there and still be structured bullish. All the way down there and still be structured bullish. This is where it has to get in order to say that this was a trap. If that occurs, if we take out 41.11, we're then going to fib this current week's range And then we'll look for a pullback into the 50% retracement, and then we'll open big short positions, looking for continuation to the downside, looking for that breakout, last week's breakout, to be a trap. On the daily, you're still nothing. It's still a nothing burger. You're still trading inside of yesterday's range on the SPX. So this is not a bearish move. In fact, it could find support where it currently is right now. That's yesterday's open. Will it? I mean, yesterday's close. No, yesterday's open. I was right the first time. I'm confusing myself. Will it? I don't know, but it could, and continue to be bullish. And then ultimately that weekly low, not this one, this one is a long ways off. You got to get all the way down there before you can say, yeah, that was a trap. And then we'll look for the retrace up into the 50%, and we'll look for shorts. We'll look for the continuation to the downside. As of right now, I mean, this is still extremely bullish. I mean, you're just not, you're overbought is all it is. So a pullback is normal. It's not a rug pull, not even close to a rug pull. If there was, I mean, one could say or argue that Doge was potentially a rug pull. That's why I tell you guys not to be a breakout trader. If I've been trying to do this I was trying to do this for so long. I tried almost every single strategy in the world, and being a breakout trader lost more money than any other strategy I tried. Waiting for the liquidation to then get positioned is better than trying to take a break down or a breakout. This is starting to get moving now to the downside. This turned out to be a nice trade, but we had to wait for the open. We had to see if it liquidated, got above hourly resistance. All right, your hourly resistance is still holding on a closing basis. You see how that works? That was the original entry, liquidation of the swing high, then you're back down. Wait for those, especially if you're trying to short something. That's up 15% on the day. Right? Fantastic trade on that. Made a lot of money. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Let me just make sure that there's not anything else I need to look at. Could you take a look at MicroStrategy? Yep. Yeah, it's going to do whatever Bitcoin does. Bitcoin's pulling back today, so MicroStrategy is doing the same thing. This thing trades almost identical to Bitcoin. I do want to see how far it's up, though, off of the lows. It's up over 147% from the lows. So even MicroStrategy is outperforming Bitcoin. Everything is outperforming Bitcoin. So give it a chance to pull back. The next zone that I would be interested in being a buyer on MicroStrategy would be right there. Right in there. So if we could pull back down to 319.15 and hold that as support for a day at least, or two even, then we'll take bullish entries off of it, and we'll target the top end of the range at 352. Boom, boom. But we got to let it pull back first. We got to let it find support. You did hit overbought for a brief period. Yesterday would have been a fantastic short, looking at it in hindsight, obviously. But we did get short SPY. We were looking for it to break down today. They missed on earnings and still got bought up. Bitcoin down 1.3% now. Back under yesterday's low. I mean, back above yesterday's low. Had one more liquidation to make. If it starts trending lower, I would just leave it alone, right? SPY is pulling back up to the open of the day. Hopefully that holds and it continues lower. Just for the rest of the day. We want to see a continuation lower. At 11 o'clock, we want to know that the high is in. or there's a 62% chance that the high is in at 11 o'clock. All right. You guys have a fantastic. Oh wait, did we do Aussie yen yet? No, I don't think I looked at Aussie yen at all today. Let's go look at it briefly, and then we'll wrap up. My girl is off today, so I like to spend the day with her when she is not working. Aussie yen pulled right up into supply, man. Not quite a tag of it yet, so give it a minute because yen is weak. Or what the hell is going on? There we go. Almost tagged daily supply. That's why you're getting a pullback. I would wait for the test first. This isn't going to be a short today. If anything, it will be tomorrow. This yen strength that we're seeing, or this yen weakness that we're seeing today, could just be a pullback. And if it is, then we want to look for bearish continuation on Aussie yen. But it's above the 50. So your 50%, your 50 on the RSI is right here at this area, which is now support. We got to give it a minute. We can't just take the short yet. Let's see how it closes in relation to today, to the 21, and then we'll make a decision on it tomorrow or the next day on Aussie yen. I think it is a short. I just don't think it's there yet. That was a big ass move yesterday to the downside. So I want to see this be continuation lower. So hopefully it closes up in here somewhere. And then tomorrow it maybe opens down here. We can wait for a pullback up into the daily resistance. And then we can take short entry targeting daily support, 93,608. But it's all going to hinge on where does this thing close today. All right. And then when do you look for liquidation candles? Only crypto. I look for liquidations to occur across all asset classes, because liquidations do occur on all asset classes. Swing highs and swing lows are targets. That's how this strategy works. We take trades and we aim for swing highs or swing lows. So we could have gotten long on Doge, and we could have targeted the daily high and then taken profits when it got there, right? So that's the trade. It would have been down here. You would have been looking to take out the high of day, which was there. So you get long and look for the liquidation, but you get long down here, you target that, you take profits, and then you drop your stop. You move your stop to break even. So that way, if once the liquidation occurs, you get a bearish reaction like this, it drops right down and stops you out. The reason we were waiting is because we were really close to the New York Open, the New York Stock Exchange. When the stock exchange opens, for the first 15 to 30 minutes of that open is when you're going to get the last bit of volume for the day. The next time you're going to see an influx in volume will be the Asian session, which is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So whatever bit of volume comes in at that 9:30-ish, if you're in a trade already, you want to see the trade continue in the direction that which you took the trade. If the 9:30 open up happens and then price comes back to your entry, there's a good chance that you were wrong on the day, on the direction. Since we don't know where price is ever going to go, we don't know what direction it's going to go, right? This thing, even though we got a nice bearish reaction up there, it could absolutely find support intraday and trade right back up there, right? But typically waiting for the stop run to happen and then get short, it still isn't always going to work. You're still going to get stopped out because you're going to get bullish continuation. That happened on CHZ yesterday. We had already taken the trade. We had already taken profits. But this was the high of day. And you see what happened there, right? So if you would have tried to get short once you ran the liquidation there, you got stopped out. That trade did not work. But if you notice what happened today on the volume, the 930 volume, you traded right up into hourly resistance and you rolled over. So this one didn't do a liquidation of yesterday's high. Everything works in trading, just not all the time. Right? It just doesn't work all the time. So that's kind of what we were just waiting on for Doge to do. And then we wanted to see it reverse. And we wanted to see it reverse with the quickness. And it did in one 5-minute period. This 5-minute candle opened up. It traded right back up to the daily high. That was the high before this, obviously. And then you got your rejection. So that's a good signal. That is a decent signal. And then boom, down. Because all it was doing was running the stops from all the early shorts. Anybody that shorted it yesterday, or not yesterday because this is today's candle, but anybody that got short on any of these swings over here, right? Just liquidate the daily high and then move lower. What that is it's people taking profits. Big positions taking profits, and also new shorts setting above the high of day. And you get a reaction like that. Fantastic. And hopefully it'll trend. You might get a couple bumps in price, but hopefully for the rest of the day it just trends in one direction. I wouldn't mind seeing this thing close tonight down 4% on the day. That would be good. That means you got more continuation to the downside. But closing up above, 7 or 8% on the day, then that means you're likely going to see continuation. Because this is still bullish on the day. You're still bullish on the day. You got to get all the way down there before you'll be bearish on the day. Or red on the day. So this is still bullish, and at any time, people could buy it. That's resistance. You're above it. That can absolutely act as support if it even gets there. It could find support here, which is yesterday's high. And it is kind of, right? It is kind of. So even though that worked, you definitely don't want to, you take your money, at least 2/3 of the position off, move your stop to break even wherever your entry is, and then just set and see what happens. That way you pay yourself for taking the risk, and there's no risk on the table of you losing money because you've already made money. Then if you get downside continuation and this ends up being a good short, well, 5 or 6 days from now, if this just is red every day, that little piece of position that you left on is going to pay you twice as much as the first trade did. And you did that without any risk because you took your risk off by taking profits here. Moving your stop to break even. You cannot lose money on the trade, and you made money on the trade. So your risk is good. Your P&L went up, and you're not risking anything but unrealized P&L. And unrealized P&L is nothing. Don't even look at it. Pretend it's not even there, because it's not your money until you close it down. Which is why I don't consider risking unrealized profit as risk. Risk is your capital. When you're using your capital, when your capital is still at risk at being lost, then that's risk. Unrealized P&L is nothing. It's not yours, it's not nobody's. It's just in the ether waiting for someone to take it. And if you get bearish continuation for the next 7 or 8 days on this, then, like I said, that'll be a fantastic short position. You guys have a fantastic day. Next time we'll be live will be Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same time as we got live today. And then the next time, we'll just do it every Tuesdays and Thursdays, because we do the live streams in the Discord Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. All right, you guys have a fantastic day. Make sure you guys trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading.